You smell who the newest board member of TKO Holding Group's parent company of WWE and UFC is? Mr. Brad Keywell. Give it up for Brad Keywell, everybody. Newest board member. Brad Keywell is a successful entrepreneur who has made his ducats in the tech world, including artificial intelligence. Certainly will bring quite the background and a new perspective to the WWE Board of Directors. Now, of course, I'm being silly here. Obviously, the big news is the appointment of Dwayne The Rock Johnson to also being a board member of TKO Holding Group's parent company of WWE and UFC. I say it like this because it is worth noting. There's a lot of people already out there going, oh, The Rock will now have significant control over the WWE. That's a literal word-for-word headline, by the way, that I've seen. And it's not just one news site purporting it, because it's like that headline that like all the little mini dirt sheets. You know, there's the big dirt sheets out there, the good ones, like, well, good ones, but you know what I'm saying, like the ones that are real, like, high level, right? Like Fightful and Wrestling Observer, even Wade Keller's Pro Wrestling Torch, and so on. Certainly not Nick Hausman. No. But then there's a lot of those smaller little douchebag ones, like your Wrestling News or whatever. They'll throw their little logo on top of a little somebody else's meme, and there's somebody else's tweet, and it's the same headline that gets passed around on all these little Facebook groups. And it was the same one I saw all day long. Dwayne The Rock Johnson will have significant control. Do you guys know what a board member is? Do you? I even heard somebody report, and this was in the somebody who should know better in prominent media had said that Dwayne The Rock Johnson being on the board now for TKO will be Vince McMahon's boss. Vince McMahon is the chairman of the board, as he's always been. Fun fact, Vince McMahon has not even really ever been president or CEO of the WWE. Very rarely, I think a little bit for a point in time. But it's always been Linda or Stephanie or whoever, Nick Khan. Vince has always been the chairman, god damn it. And he is the chairman of this board, who has now appointed 2 new members. Now, I know in the original deal that TKO, there was Endeavor and Ari Emanuel got the majority of the appointments, and then WWE got a minority of appointments to the board. I wonder what side The Rock falls on. The Rock also got his name back. He owns The Rock. That was obviously probably part of the deal, or maybe it was a gift. That would be a smart gift. If I was like a Nick Khan, and I could see a Nick Khan doing that, or an Ari Emanuel. Hey, I'll tell you what, it's a little sweet in the pot. You know, as our gift to you for signing on to this, we will sign over the rights to the name The Rock. Rock owns it. He's been able to use it, but he's still licensed it. WWE's still got a little cut of that cheese. Now he's on the board, and now he owns The Rock. For more details on this, it's Mr. Bellringer himself, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, big businessman, sitting at the table with Ari Emanuel on some sort of news thing. I forgot which one. Check out this clip.
So we had a major announcement this morning. We opened up the stock exchange. I had the honor of ringing that bell. The major announcement is I have a board appointment. I was asked to join the board of TKO. And not only that, but within the deal, the very complex deal that we created and I signed with Ari Emanuel, who I've been doing business with for 20 years, who's also been my agent. I get full ownership of the name The Rock, along with some other things as well. So that unprecedented.
That doesn't happen.
Molly, it does not happen. And that was incredible. So it was really a very, very special morning, special announcement. But also, I just think that, you know, my My grandfather, who was a pro wrestler for WWE, my dad, who was a pro wrestler for WWE, trailblazed, both men of color. They would have never thought a day like this would come. And here I am sitting at this table, a table that they helped to build.
That's right.
And it's very, very special.
And that's exactly where I was going.
Another responsibility is being a fiduciary on a public board. Is it your first time on a public board?
First time, yes.
So you know you have to hold him accountable, right?
I do, yes, I have been.
The family tree that he has, and he said it recently, wrestling built him. He also built it, and his family built it. That TKO and his family can come together and kind of their branches meet up now. So special.
There you have it. Good old Dwayne Johnson, one of the most savvy, most prominent businessmen of my time. This is the kind of shit that I look up to. I love these entrepreneurs that are in everything, a little bit of everything, right? Rock's an actor. He's still a wrestler, probably, kind of, right? He's got fucking a liquor bottle. He's got Zoa energy drinks, which is goddamn good, by the way. It actually is really good. It tastes different than the other ones. It's like a fruity, more organic-y tasty, but it's like good. I don't know. Hard to say, but he's got that going for him. Rock's the fucking man, right? His football league. Now he's on the board of directors for the WWE. So what in UFC? So what exactly does he do? Does he have significant control over the WWE now? Can he order Vince McMahon around, tell him to go get coffee? Can he fire Vince McMahon? Can Dwayne The Rock Johnson go, Vince McMahon, you're fired? Well, yes, kinda. So the board of directors is basically a board for any kind of publicly traded company or even nonprofit companies, that sort of thing. There's a board of directors, which is basically, it's their job to oversee the best interest of the company and the shareholders. They always have to work. That's why you always hear, oh, they had to rule in the best interest of the shareholders. That's how Elon was able to buy Twitter. They didn't want his ass to be able to buy Twitter and take it private all over again. But they had to, because he was offering such a ridiculous amount of money over what it was actually valued, that it would be not in the interest of the shareholders to take that deal, in which, the board would get sued to oblivion. So you have to work in the best interest of the company. And within that board, there's different roles. There's secretaries and vice secretaries and finances and stuff like that. They do committees. So they'll work within different, maybe you guys will be on a committee to help, do public outreach or sponsorship deals or, that kind of thing. Brand awareness. They are also in charge of deciding compensation for the CEO, the chairman, and they also can hire and fire the chairman. The chairman can hire and fire the CEO. So Vince can still get rid of Nick Khan if he wanted to. I do believe, please correct me in the comments if I got this backwards, but as I believe it, Vince McMahon, as the chairman of the board, can fire the CEO, Nick Khan. But the board of directors, which Nick Khan is on, and now The Rock is on, amongst other people, Triple H, I believe, still, right? Is he? No, he got booted off of it. Well, not booted, but you get the point. The board of directors would vote on removing the chairman. So we've all kind of predicted that Vince will eventually be removed from TKO altogether. He's kind of just this figurehead statue there now at this point. And that eventually, which I've even speculated was part of the deal all along. That's why Vince's stock is liquid. It could just be because he's old and feeble on a cane now. Can't decide if he wants to do mustache or not a mustache. And, maybe he needs that money liquid because life is short, brother. But I feel more likely it was, hey, you're pretty scandalous. There's probably other shit coming out about you. Even so, you don't really do the brand a whole lot of good other than you're Vince McMahon, goddamn. Let's not forget he's a fucking genius. Creatively bankrupt, but this is still the guy that made all of the biggest moves in pro wrestling history. all the way up until Nick Khan came along and he oversaw the TV deals and the Peacock deal and stuff from there. But all before that, it was Vince. It was his brain. It was his negotiating, his mind, his ideas, his forward thinking. It's his kind of forward thinking that's the same kind of forward thinking that thought WWE Monday Night Raw on Netflix is a good idea, and it is. But I do think, Vince is on his way out the door, whether by will or whether he's voted out. And if he's voted out, sure as shit, The Rock can vote on to do that. Now, does he have control over WWE? Not really. He gets to vote on things like that committee. It's a group of thinkers, and they're not all wrestlers or ex-wrestlers or anything like that. They're all businessmen, just like that Brad Keywell guy or whoever the fuck I talked about at the beginning of the thing comes from the tech world and AI. A lot of times you just want to put big, savvy businessmen on your board. That's how, going back to Elon, he was able to get himself on the board of directors of Twitter before he made an offer to buy it, just by being Elon Musk. So you can, it's just a board made up of a lot of entrepreneurial people from different worlds, not always WWE or Endeavor. They can be outsiders from other companies like The Rock is. He doesn't work. He'll get a paycheck from TKO for being on the board, but he's not an employee of WWE or UFC or TKO necessarily. He took a seat at the table to be a decider at the table. He sits in on these meetings. Should we move Raw to Netflix? What do you guys think about this TV deal? Rock has a voice in that discussion now, which is great. I fucking love this because we need a guy who understands the wrestling business at that table at all times. If Vince is on his way out, God bless Ari Emanuel. I know he's a fucking genius on his own and obviously a smart guy and obviously a hands-off guy too, if you've watched any UFC press conferences lately. Ari Emanuel just lets the companies do what they do best. He just wants to own the shit and use his bigger company, Endeavor, and his connections and powers and whatever to further make more money, more dirty money for WWE. It's already paid dividends. Vince McMahon himself got UFC over in Saudi Arabia, which I think they postponed that show, but it's going over there. And they're going to get paid a lot of dirty fucking money for that. You know who made that call? Vince McMahon did. You know who said that? Dana White himself. So it's a good partnership that they have going on over there. And having a guy like The Rock sitting at the table that understands the wrestling business, but also clearly understands pop culture, the greater media business. He's probably going to end up being president of the United States someday, let's face it. I really think it's a very, very solid move. We need as many of those guys on the board as we can. We need a wrestler on the board for WWE. We have to. It was a brilliant move for them to bring him on too, just for a PR point, especially to make the announcement for Netflix too. All of that, man. And Nick Khan, just a savage out there doing business deals like a G. Man, this company, it's really going places. And having The Rock on board as a figurehead, that's going to pay dividends, just being able to go out there and do what you just saw him do for MSNBC. That's who it was. Or CNBC. I don't know. See, I forgot again already. One of those NBC number gimmicks. Having The Rock to be able to go out there and do those instead of Nick Khan all the time, or instead of Ari Emanuel all the time, or instead of Vince McMahon himself, The Rock to just go out and do media for WWE and for the UFC now. He's always been tight with Dana. He's always loved the UFC. Now he's on the board of directors for the UFC. He gets to sit in on the decisions for the UFC just as much as anybody else. If the board was to ever call a meeting and go, hey, that Sean Strickland guy really says a lot of wild shit, doesn't he? Maybe we should fire Dana White because he's not holding him accountable. The Rock is part of that conversation. So very interesting stuff. A lot of big moves, a lot of moving and shaking going on in the world of pro wrestling today as I record this. Wow, what a news day. I was so eager to get home and start recording. And The Rock, just, being the chairman of TKO is almost an afterthought. I wake up and it's like Netflix, and then, oh yeah, by the way, The Rock is on the chairman. He's on the board now, not the chairman. But yeah, glad we got all that straight. Glad we covered exactly what The Rock will be doing, exactly how powerful The Rock will be in WWE, and, who he can fire, who he can't, and exactly what that role is. So glad we could sort all that out. But I'd love to know your thoughts down in those comments below. Peace, love, and pizza. Hit subscribe if you liked what you saw. And I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next. I got to use the finger because I don't. Did I almost do it? I almost did it. Did I do it?
Let me tell you something, brother. You can check out full episodes each and every Sunday right here on this channel, dude. Don't forget to like. Don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to take your vitamins and say your prayers, brother.